Here at Northumberland Zoo, these live little animals are black-tailed prairie dogs, and despite their name, they're not dogs at all, but a type of ground squirrel. Native to the grasslands of North America, prairie dogs are highly social animals, living together in large family groups known as colonies. Each member plays a role from digging to maintaining their burrow systems to keeping watch for danger. If you listen closely, you might hear their distinctive call, sharp bark-like sounds used to warn others of predators. It's this call that gives them their name. Prairie dogs spend much of the day foraging for grasses and plants, staying close to their burrows so they can dive quickly underground if needed. These burrows aren't just homes, they're vital shelters that protect them from both predators and extreme weather. Interestingly, they're known as a keystone species, meaning they play an important role in supporting other wildlife within the ecosystem. Small, social and always busy, these prairie dogs are a fascinating glimpse into life on the North American plains. Here at Northumberland Zoo, these incredible animals are Livingstone fruit bats, one of the rarest bats in the world. With wingspans reaching around 1.2 metres, they're the third largest bat species on the planet, often known as flying foxes because of their fox-like faces and large expressive eyes. These bats come from two small islands just off the coast of Africa, where their forest habitat is under serious threat from deforestation and increasingly severe storms. In fact, they are classified as critically endangered, with only around 1,200 left in the wild, and just a small number in captivity worldwide. Unlike many bats, fruit bats rely on excellent eyesight rather than echolocation, feeding on fruit, nectar and pollen high in the forest canopy. Here at the zoo, they are part of an important breeding programme, helping to protect the future of this species, giving these remarkable animals a fighting chance for survival. Gentle, intelligent and surprisingly graceful in flight, these fruit bats are a powerful reminder of how fragile our natural world can be. Here at Northumberland Zoo, this unusual looking reptile is a blue-tongued skink. Native to Australia, this ground-dwelling lizard is best known for its bright blue tongue, which it flashes as a defence to startle predators. Despite their tough, armoured appearance, skinks are generally calm, slow-moving, and spend much of their time foraging for insects, fruit and plants. They rely on their excellent sense of smell to explore their surroundings, often flicking their tongue to pick up scents in the air. A fascinating and hardy reptile, the blue-tongued skink is a great example of how unique and varied wildlife can be. Here at Northumberland Zoo, these tiny but incredible busy insects are leafcutter ants. Working together in long organised trails, they carry pieces of leaves many times their own size back to their underground nest. They don't actually eat the leaves, instead they use them to grow a special type of fungus which becomes their main source of food. Each colony is highly structured, with different ants taking on specific roles, from foraging and farming to protecting the nest. Leafcutter ants are often described as nature's farmers, carefully tending their fungus gardens deep below ground. Small but remarkably complex, they're a fascinating example of teamwork and organisation within the natural world. Here at Northumberland Zoo, this striking little amphibian is the blue dart frog. Native to the rainforest of South America, its bright blue colouring is a warning to predators that it can be toxic in the wild. Interestingly, frogs in captivity are harmless. Their diet no longer contains the insects that produce these toxins. Despite their small size, they are active, agile, often seen climbing and exploring their surroundings. Vibrant, delicate and eye-catching, the blue dart frog is a brilliant example of how nature can be both powerful and beautiful. Here at Northumberland Zoo, this impressive reptile is known as the Sulcata tortoise, also known as the African spurred tortoise. Native to the dry regions of North Africa, it's the third largest tortoise species in the world. Sulcatas are powerful diggers, often creating burrows to escape heat and stay cool in harsh environments. Despite their size and strength, they are calm animals, spending much of their time grazing on plants. With the right care, they can live for decades, making one of the longest lived reptiles on the planet. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Here at Northumberland Zoo, these unusual looking animals are naked mole rats. Native to East Africa, they spend most of their entire lives underground in complex tunnel systems. Unlike most mammals, they live in colonies similar to ants or bees, with a single queen that workers help maintain the tunnels and care for the young. Their wrinkled, almost hairless skin and large front teeth make them perfectly adapted for digging. Naked roll marks are incredibly tough and live in low oxygen environments. Here at Northumberland Zoo, these little animals are meerkats. Native to the deserts of southern Africa, they live in close-knit groups called mobs, working together to survive in harsh environments. You'll often see them standing upright on guard while watching for predators, while another one digs or forages for food. Meerkats feed mainly on insects, but they also eat small reptiles and plants when available. Highly sociable and full of character, they constantly communicate with soft calls and warning signs. Curious, cooperative and always on the lookout, meerkats are one of the most engaging animals to watch at the zoo. Here at Northumberland Zoo, these tiny delicate animals are harvest mice, one of the smallest rodents in Europe. Weighing only a few grams, they are perfectly adapted for life in tall grasses and reeds, using their long prehensile tail to help them climb and balance. Harvest mice are skilled nest builders, weaving together blades of grass to create small, spherical nests that sit hidden above the ground. They spend much of their time foraging for seeds, berries, insects, and move carefully through their surroundings. Despite their size, they're active, agile, and surprisingly vigilant. Small, gentle, and beautifully adapted, harvest mice offer a glimpse into the hidden world of Britain's grasslands. Here at Northumberland Zoo, this freshwater species is a white-clawed crayfish. It's the UK's only native crayfish. Found in clean rivers and streams, they spend much of their time hiding under rocks and along the riverbed. They're named for the pale underside of their claws, which helps distinguish them from non-native species. White-clawed crayfish are under serious threat from pollution, habitat loss, and invasive crayfish that spread disease. As a result, they're now a protected species, and conservations like this are vital for their survival. Here at Northumberland Zoo, this striking bird is a laughing kookaburra. Native to Australia, it's the largest member of the kingfisher family, easily recognised by its strong beak and distinctive call. Its name comes from the loud, echoing laugh it makes, often heard at dusk and dawn across the Australian bush. Kookaburras are skilled hunters, feeding on insects, small animals and even reptiles, often catching prey before returning to perch and eat it. Despite the size, they're calm, patient, spending long periods watching and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Bold, characterful and instantly recognisable, the laughing kookaburra is one of the most iconic birds of Australia.